Thank you so much for being here again, John. It's our first live conversation.
Yes, good morning. Good morning.
You posted something on Facebook recently, and I was so surprised to see it because I've been wondering about this for a really long time about you. You posted a thing about dealing with burnout. Do you remember like what you said?
Oh, right, right. I can't remember what I said, but it's something that I've kind of studied and thought about a lot over the years. I tend to get really focused and really motivated, like going after certain goals. But I've noticed in myself and in a lot of other people, you can see the signs of when people are gonna just be like, I hate this. I don't ever want to do that. And so like I've been kind of studying that in my work life for a long time and try to bring that stuff into my creative like hobbies and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you just don't recognize a few things about how you work and how you motivate and get started and kind of close things out and move on to the next thing, you can really get in danger of just burning out. And I've done that before with hobbies or anything really. I tend to get into like a lot of schedule or routine that helps me. But like the time I ate like probably 1,000 McDonald's McChicken sandwiches because I used to work across the hall from a McDonald's. And then like for 10 years, I couldn't even set foot in a McDonald's. It's just like you overdo it. You get burnt out. It can happen
Yes.
in it.
I remember what it was that you had heard one of the biggest drone racers out there say that
Oh,
they
right,
weren't
right,
even
right.
enjoying it anymore, and you were like, "Oh, I
Yes.
don't want that to happen to me."
Yes, that's true. There was an interview that Michael Rollins from the No Smart Creator Group did with a couple of larger people in my niche, two people that have kind of made businesses out of what I'm just kind of doing as a hobby. They have shops, they sell products, they develop things. And hearing both of them say that they don't fly for fun, which
Hmm.
flying drones is kind of the hobby that my YouTube channel is built around, just made me really sad. And I hope that that doesn't happen to me. I've been on the edge of where trying to do too many projects, trying I do typically do most of the reviews, and I can start to feel that if I try to do too many too quick, that I'm just start to become like a factory or a video production house, and it's like I don't really want to do that. I want to just document my hobby and hopefully get a little something out of it. So I think
It,
that applies to a lot of us though, especially people that have I mean, everyone should probably get some kind of enjoyment out of their channel.
totally. It's like we when I really enjoyed that vlog that you made, and like vlogging is a little bit outside of your comfort zone, isn't it?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, that
You
was a
have
lot more work.
yeah, it's like there's the people who their personality is the channel, and it's pretty much impossible to grow. I've been stuck at like 696 for like 100 years now. Um, and then there's people who are really good at searching SEO, ranking, best the thumbnails that are going to catch the attention of people who are searching for that specific thing. And then there's people who are like, if I am a fun personality, maybe people will stick around for my videos, even if they're not searching for them. And just like finding the balance of how much personality to put into something people are searching for without it being boring. And oh, it's complicated.
And you can get going down like a path and get into a routine, and before you know it, you're just like going, and it can get frustrated if you don't see results. So for me to stay motivated and to avoid burnout, I have a few things that I've always done, like both in work life and I, like I said, bring that into my hobbies, especially YouTube lately, because it's a slippery slope and it should be fun. And when you start to see the signs of it not being fun, is when you really have to like take a look and figure out what do I need to do to make this fun. Or some people are happy just to make it into a job. But I don't want. I mean, I have a job. I don't want another job. But it's weird once you start getting bigger and money starts coming in. I could see how the lines start to get blurred.
How do you feel? Like, how do you know that I need to step back from the routine that I'm in? Because, of course, routine is good. Like, and you don't give yourself the out that, oh, I don't feel like uploading, so I'm not going to. But there's such a difference between not feeling like doing something and just straight up your mental health is, teetering in the direction of burnout. So
Right.
this question is convoluted, isn't it? But yeah,
No,
how do
well, I
you
mean, it
feel?
is,
How do
but
you know
it's,
it's not just, I don't feel like doing this, but I really need to take a break and take a step back?
well, for me, the keys to doing that are, and the keys for recognizing it, I guess is the first part of that question is, you have to realize, okay, when I started this, how fun was it? Now, it may not always be that fun. And you, like you said, you may have times where you just don't feel like doing that. But if you notice that you don't feel like doing it and you're kind of forcing yourself 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, somewhere in that count, you need to start saying, okay, like, why is it? Am I doing something wrong? Am I doing it too frequently? Is my schedule too much? Or am I just getting tired of this particular thing and I need to adjust and mix it up to keep myself engaged? And then the other key piece is you have to realize what type of a worker you are. And so, like, comes from when I first realized this, like, just working in my career. You got to know what you're good at, what type of environment you're good at. And working in a lot of IT environments, there's different speeds that projects roll at the beginning. It's a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of focus things, and then there's situations where large pieces of systems break down, and you need people that can really work really hard and think kind of outside the box, recognize those things and fix those. So I realized that's what I'm really good at. um, as far as a worker goes in that scenario, like, I'm a good sprinter, but later on in the projects, when everything's set up, you kind of switch into more of a maintenance mode, and you still may have a high volume of requests. But you got to realize, if you're a sprinter and all of a sudden you need to shift into a marathon pace so you don't burn yourself out, you got to slow it down, because as somebody that runs at that high speed, like, I can't keep doing it for miles and miles and miles. If I do, like, I'll just use every last bit of gas in the tank and then there'll be nothing left. And
Totally.
you can recognize that in yourself and in other people.
Yeah.
And that's really the main key, is realizing what kind of a worker am I on, and then play on those strengths. If you know you can run at a high level for a short amount of time, structure your workload around that.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. But like,
Yeah.
I've been on YouTube for 2 years, and I've really immersed myself in not just the no smoke creator community, but some other for YouTube moms and stuff like that. And I've read so many posts of, I don't want to keep, I don't know, how far should I keep pushing? It's hard. And you have the bit of the reputation in us small creators of being the suck it up, buttercup, just do it. Stop whining about it. And so seeing you show a side of yourself that was like, actually I do struggle too. It was like, that's important. And I want to talk to John about that. I want to talk about the fact that even the people who are the most gung-ho can still struggle. But I really like what you said about, if it's a continual process of struggling and not wanting to do it, to evaluate it, because that really makes sense.
Right. And then for me, one of the ways to combat that is to split my workflow into different chunks, and then vary the type of things that I'm doing. So for me, I do a lot of reviews. So for a while, I just got into the swing of it. I could get a product in, go test it for a while, make a video very quickly, get it edited, get it up, and that would be great. But then when you start to get more traction, you start to get bigger, more companies want to work with you, then it's like boom, boom, they're sending more and more and more and more. And there's a timeliness element to it. You want to get those videos out as close to the release date of that product, because more people will watch it. More people might click the links, and so there could be temptation to go more than what your schedule allows, and that's when you're kind of in that danger zone. The
Mm.
other thing is, when you do the same thing over and over again, it can get tedious. So you have to kind of find ways, like with that vlog content, it's not in my comfort zone, but it's something a little different. So when you do those little different things, it's not as repetitive. You can get yourself re-engaged in a different way. And then it kind of expands your skill set. Now I can be good at one thing, and hopefully over time, I'll get a little bit better at that. And I know for me, the other key was finding smaller chunks to bite off. So like my reviews would take this amount of time. Sometimes I would more recently get involved with making a quick video just talking about my opinions on different news within my niche. That would only take about 10 minutes to record. There wasn't a lot of B-roll that would go in. It was just purely just a discussion. And sometimes those get the most amount of views. That's just like an easy thing to just do to mix it up, give yourself a break, but still maintain your schedule. That way you're not always operating at that high level, especially some people that have really produced content or like people that have travel channels. I can't imagine the work that must involve. Just going on a vacation is so much work, much less making a video out of it. But like, if you can make a smaller video to just go in between your bigger ones, it gets you more practice and keeps you engaged.
Totally.
I think those are some keys, though, for people to, one, always kind of reevaluate your schedule. For a while, my schedule was 1 video a week. Then I moved up to 2 videos a week. And then the last year or so, I still do 2 videos a week, but during the high ad revenue months, which are like November, December, the ad revenues go up. So during those months, I try to do 3 videos a week. And, so now it's January. They've all went down. I'm trying to ramp back down, but I'm kind of in the habit. And so I know like, okay, I could keep doing it, but over time it could be damaging because I can't sustain that. So I need to go back to my 2 a week.
I totally hear you about being in a habit. Like I had to wean myself off of uploading like almost every day. Like
Right.
I had to step back even though I knew that I could do it. And there's been days where I was like, I'm not going to edit anything today, even though I kind of want to, because I don't want to burn out of it. And I'm
Yes.
really, really glad that I took myself back to like 1 or 2 videos a week, because then I'm making money as an editor now. I'm editing videos for people, and it really does take a lot of energy to do that. So
That's a good point too. And that's, you don't ever want to operate at like 90, 100% too long. You want to leave a little bit in case those opportunities come up to edit for somebody, or a news drop or a new product drops in your niche unexpectedly. And all of a sudden it's like, I didn't have anything planned and now I got to go do something quickly. And those things come up for me. So I always try to leave a little bit of extra room in there should I have to make a video really quicker than my normal workflow.
yeah,
And
not to
I've seen
mention,
that though.
sorry.
Oh, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, not to mention the fact that we have lives outside of YouTube. Like, we need to
Yes.
be present sometimes with our families, actually have friendships and relationships outside of it all. And like, I remember before I started YouTube, I was have hardcore into pen paling. I was writing 5 to 7 letters a week. And I was also a breastfeeding mom at that time. Like, my whole life was just being a cow and writing letters. And I love the look on people's faces when I say that. But that was my life. And I was like, no, I can't go anywhere. Like, I have to write letters. This is my letter writing time. And it gets into your head when your whole life has to be your hobby instead of fitting your hobby into your life and finding balance.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's a good point too, is you have to figure out where it fits, how much time it should fit. And that's another way you can monitor is not just are you enjoying it, but is it consuming like your entire life and damaging other parts? Because even if you're not feeling burnt out, if the people around you are just like, okay, gosh, when are you going to be around to watch a movie or something? Like, that's another warning sign. And I've seen it to the point in coworkers where they'll leave a job that they worked hard for to move back down a level just because it got to too high. And there was an instance where I tried to tell a coworker several times because I could see it building up to that point, just the level of frustration. And I was like, you gotta unplug, stop answering those calls in the evenings, stop doing extra stuff on the weekends. It can wait till Monday, you know. And I know there's like that urgency, and it could be there for your channel too. Well, I gotta get it out. Like this thing just came out today. So and so's gonna make their video out today. Like I gotta get it out. And especially when you're smaller, we're trying to compete with some of those larger channels, and they may get access to a product 2 weeks before it comes out, whereas us, like, we're buying it on release day, and it's like, oh man, can I get home, make a video in a couple hours and get it out on launch day, even though I'm not a launch partner. I know that for me that's like a big race, but if you do that too often, it can be bad. So you got to realize like how frequently I can do that without losing that taste.
Yeah. Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Do you feel like you have a good balance of your YouTube hobby in your life?
I do. I don't spend well, I don't see it. I don't know if I'm the best judge of it, because I tend to, over the years and years, I tend to like collect hobbies. And so this has been like 3 or 4 hobbies, like all joining together. And it's probably been the longest that I've done any one hobby. And I have sort of an addictive personality when I get into something. Like I'm just like all consumed. And so usually like I'll get into a weird hobby and it'll last like 3 months or 6 months. This is going on a few years now, but it's like, okay, it's my video hobby plus flying drones hobby, and then YouTube's kind of become its own hobby, and so they all kind of drive each other. So I haven't gotten sick of it, but at times I definitely do need to remind myself to unplug, and sometimes it's easier than others, because especially like you're answering comments, and like I'm active in the Facebook groups of my niche, kind of like No Small Creator. So then people sometimes ask me questions, like tech related questions or troubleshooting, and it's like you want to answer them, but it's like, okay, I should be unplugged. It's 10 o'clock at night. I'm watching a show, getting ready for bed. I shouldn't be answering somebody back. And it is kind of hard to sometimes realize like, okay, I'm not just helping a friend, like this is kind of connected to my channel, and I need to have some times where I just unplug. So that is a struggle too, is like, okay, I'm not feeling the burnout, but are the people around me feeling like that I'm too consumed in it?
Yeah. It is not easy. We can put our I also I felt that majorly, the addictive personality. Like, yep. We are kindred spirits in that aspect. It's so easy to hyper focus, especially with like the sense of purpose and community that it can bring. And like seeing
Right.
views, seeing comments, it's like connection. People actually care about what I have to say, and they care about me. This is amazing.
Yeah. It is. And like, that's another good point, is when you reach those milestones, you tend to want to engage further, and you really got to take a glance, like, do I actually have the bandwidth, not just like burnout wise, but in my life, to be able to commit anymore? And so I did have an opportunity a couple months back. I was chatting with the owner of one of the shops that work in my niche, and he asked if I would run like a video podcast for him, make a couple of videos a month, and he would pay me, a decent amount. Like, I'm sure there'd be tons of people that would want to do this, and I had to just say like, look, I really appreciate you thinking of me, but like I'm trying to grow my thing right now, and I just don't have the personal time, because if I dedicate another 5 hours a week, like I'm either gonna have problems at home, or it's gonna cut into my own channel time, and I
Yeah.
don't want to give up either one of those things at this point.
Yeah. It's
Um,
it's
and that
so
was a hard thing to say no to. I mean,
yeah. Because it's something, especially if it's something you know you can do and you know you would do it well. But
yeah, and there
I
was like both of those.
yeah, I read a I don't read a lot of them, but there was this self-help book, Atomic Habits, and it was like the thing about building good habits and doing these things is a little bit at a time. And so often people think, oh, in order to do all the things I need to do, I just need to put more habits in. But it's really more about taking the scalpel to our lives and like, okay, what do I take away? Like, do I take away binging Netflix shows? Like, so that I
Right.
can do the thing that I want to do. What is unnecessary weight?
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. And it's hard to do that because I mean, I like my Netflix time, like I don't want to give that. But I mean, one of the good sides about not being able to really go as many places right now during the pandemic is I do have a little bit of extra time to focus on that. Like I'm at home every day during my lunch breaks, so I can work on video shooting or editing, which has been amazing. And so that's a little bit of extra time without cutting into that personal family
Mm.
time.
Yeah, it's been a silver lining for me as well, being it not having to do my part-time job of running up and down stairs delivering hamburgers to people, but getting more time with my kids and being able to focus on building my business of editing and supporting people in their channels.
So how do you feel now that you're doing a little bit more focused on like video production? So you're still managing your own channel and now you're working on other people's channels. Like, are you still feeling good? Do you feel like you have a little bit left? Is it a good level or is it starting to, are you still adjusting? How does it feel?
It feels good, especially since I've started up the vlogging again, vlogging while running. So when I've run, it's so easy to edit, and I love that. I love that I can just do a video where I'm in the moment, appreciating the beauty of nature, sharing about the journey to get into better shape, but also the mental journeys that I'm going through, and then doing these conversations, organizing the time to contact people and make it happen. And I feel like the conversations are really the main thing. And it feels so good. I love that when people
Right.
hire me for editing, the thing that they want is the thing that I love to do, which is pulling out the personality. Like how
Yeah. And that's great. That kind of goes to what we were talking about earlier is you got to realize, okay, what's the best thing or the thing that I want to communicate about my channel, which for you can realize, it's not the awesome B-roll shots or whatever that might take up more time, more effort, and allow you to be less productive, but have a shinier product. But it's really the conversation. And like me realizing that too, to a certain degree, help me to like not go too far on the deep end because it's like you can always add more production, but it's like, okay, do people even care? I tend to watch a lot of videos and I listen to them like podcasts. I'm not always watching. I'll just have my phone playing, and I want to. And people that are having a discussion, I just want to participate in that part. And so, by you being able to strip away some of those other parts, you can stay productive. Don't burn yourself out, and now you can like help other people do the same. Like that's awesome.
exactly. Like I used to think that I had to kill myself in my videos of having B-roll, and the B-roll had to fit exactly to what I was doing, and I had to write out a script, and I needed to do voiceover at certain parts, and I put a lot of work into some of those videos, but I started to dread them. I was like, it's time to edit. I'll go on Facebook for a little bit first. I'll watch this video first. Like I was finding like I don't even enjoy this because I'm putting so much pressure about how good it has to be. And then I had friends tell me, I just kind of prefer videos where you're just yourself. It feels like you're kind of trying too hard.
Right. Well, see, so you intuitively kind of manage that as well, and then also recognizing what works and what people like. So
Yeah.
um, you just have to listen to those things. Like whenever your mind will tell you a lot of times. Just listen.
Yeah, totally. It's so cool to it's I love to talk to fellow YouTubers because we have this thing in so many things in common. The discouragement of a video that we worked really hard on not performing as well, or the struggle of finding the right title, or whatever, a million things. We all have a whole bunch of things that really bug us. So we all have a bunch of things that we feel really passionate about. And then you talk to another creator and you're like, oh, you get it.
Yes, yes, yes.
So fun.
It's hard to sometimes keep all those plates spinning without, and you only have two hands, so you can't do too many or they'll start to drop. And so that it's better to like back off a little bit before you get to that point of just everything crashing down.
Totally. And that's why we have conversations about burnouts and hope to encourage other people in their processes.
Yes.
This is a good I hope this conversation helps someone. Oh yeah, I need to get better at saying this. If this is encouraging you, please comment down below. And definitely, if you're interested in the world of drone racing, check out John Eska's channel. And
yes. Thank you, Katie.
If you share this on your community tab, I'll probably make a trailer, like a 1 to 4 minute trailer or something that you could share, so it's not sharing a half-hour long video and messing up the analytics. So if you share a trailer of this on your community tab, then you can check out my channel where I run while vlogging and I have amazing conversations with people every week.
Yes, check that out also.
Yeah, thanks so much for talking.
Yep, thanks, Katie.
We should do this again sometime.
Yeah, for sure. If you think of anything else, we'll educate everyone on it.
Yeah, we'll tell them what's up.
All right, talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Bye.